Hello, Marks. Lyssie and Dylan here, talking about wrestling. That's why this podcast is called Talkin Wrasslin. Small little disclaimer here, we will be talking about Vince McMahon getting fired or resigning in this episode, so there will be timestamps available on the screen for when we do speak about it, in case you do want to skip over it. Totally fine, perfectly fine, we understand, and again, you gotta take care of yourself first. But with that being said, we're going to be talking about some wrestling and probably get into some sort of debate. We still don't know who the host and the co-host is. I really don't know if we're going to be finding out or not, but hey, let's talk about wrestling. All right, and we're back for a part 2.
Oh boy.
Something I typically never say. My TikToks are normally just one part. So I'm not a fan of go to part 2, go to part 3, but unfortunately I had to go to part 2 for this
I
one.
always hate that when you're on your For You page and you're scrolling and it's something super interesting.
Like those Reddit stories.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it's like, oh, here we go. And then it's like now that you can do the 10-minute long ones.
Yeah, I always set mine to 10
so
minutes.
So you get to the 10-minute mark of the end and it's like
go to part 2.
Yeah, go to part 2.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious?
And it's someone I'm not even following or anything and it's like,
always
man.
like the Reddit stories that it's normally like, for me, like, it's always the true crime ones, and I'm getting really fucking into it, and then they're like, or they won't even say go to a part 2, it'll just be like, it'll end it on a cliffhanger, and then you're like, are you fucking serious?
My favorite, too, is when you're on YouTube, and, you're watching YouTube videos, and before they get into the meat and potatoes of it, they go, share, subscribe, and they, have a giant-ass ad break and everything, and it's like, oh,
this is from our sponsors, something.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, and they have to, I always just skip through it at this point.
I'm like, come on.
I'm like, I hear you, I see you, get that sponsorship, get that ad revenue, get that coin, baby. But, I don't want to hear about it. I don't need NordVPN. I'm on my phone. If my phone gets a virus, oh well. I'll just deal with it, I guess. It's only been a day or two since we've recorded part 1.
Yeah. And when it's released and all of that.
And, and when it's released and whatnot. But I feel like let's still just start off small before we get into the meat and potatoes of this. I know it's not a sponsorship. How have your past couple days been, Dylan? You do anything exciting? Do anything fun?
I mean, not really.
Don't lie. Don't lie to the viewers.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
You went shopping.
I did.
You said that on part 1 that you were going to go shopping and spend money.
I went shopping,
and I'm sure people want to hear about it.
I spent lots of money on lots of figures.
What good shit did you get?
What did I get? I got a Hulk Hogan 3-pack.
Yeah, you did.
It was cool though to add it to the collection because it was 3 different faces of Hogan.
I like the box of it, how it's displayed and everything. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I got a Hulk Hogan 3-pack, a New Jack.
You got an ECW New Jack figure, which is so fucking cool, especially just finding ECW figures.
No, I was really when I went to that store. I meant to tell you this yesterday, and I wish
the Yuji, right?
I wish I took a picture of it. There was a Cornette figure there, but it was on hold, and it was him with the green suit on.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, that's on hold. But below New Jack, they had New Jack hanging on the wall. Mm-hmm. Below New Jack was a Vince Russo figure.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh man, do I buy this for shits and giggles? I was like, no, I'm not.
I think I would have been really mad if I saw a picture of you sending me a picture of a Vince Russo figure, or if you didn't say anything and I came home and he was just displayed somewhere in the apartment.
What else?
Although you could have put him on top of the toilet. Didn't we have a Ric Flair on top of our toilet at one time?
Yeah.
Could have put Vince Russo on top of the shitter.
Oh man, I should have just bought a Vince Russo just to have him be like the elf on the shelf of the apartment.
In very obscure places.
Jeff Hardy has taken that. He's hanging from the one light in their kitchen.
He's not exactly an elf on the shelf. He's just chilling on the light. Just chilling. We don't move him.
I could have got.
Ric Flair used to be up there, right? And then you changed it because of the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Literally the next day, I was like, Rick gotta go.
You gotta go.
Rick gotta go.
You can't have him here.
What? Oh, I could have done that with the Cornette figure though.
I didn't even.
Because it was the Christmas one.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about it until literally the second. But I should have known where you were going, and I should have asked you to see if they had any of those Hamtaro Godzilla figures, the one that my sister-in-law has.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because she said that she got hers there.
Okay.
And I was like, God fucking damn it, are you serious? You never find Hamtaro stuff around. And those things are so cute. Because just, if anyone's familiar with Hamtaro, it's a Little Hamster's Big Adventures. It's a really, not intense show, but it's a really important show when I was growing up. I feel very intensely about it. And I love it. I collect stuff from it. And I've seen them online, but I never saw them in person before. And she just showed up one day with one. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Come on, man. I need that.
What else did I got a Cody Rhodes figure.
Yeah, whatever.
And I got, because it's the first time I ever saw them out in, like, the wild.
Out
Was
in the public.
the AEW cards, the trading cards.
Oh, yeah.
So
and there was a big box.
It was a big
right?
box.
It wasn't just a pack.
No, it came with, like, 7 packs.
I know you sent me a picture of Trent.
Yeah.
You get any other good ones that I would have been intrigued in?
Yeah, I got a couple of Young Bucks ones. So
that's very important
I'll have
to
to
me.
give
Why
them
didn't
to
you tell me that?
Like, I got a couple one of just Nick Jackson and one of Matt Jackson.
Did you get any of those fancy ones that have like the piece of like cloth in them?
No, not those.
Oh, a piece of the mat?
One of the the fancy ones I got. It looks like a regular card, like it's like an ace of spades or whatever.
Okay.
And it's Samoa Joe's on it. So
that's cool.
So that's cool. I got the really cool card I got though was a Taz and Hook one. So that's cool. That one's cool. I'll have to look through them and show you. I meant to show you them.
Yeah, if you ever pull one, like if we ever find them again, because we never find them in our area. If you pull one that has like those little like cloth things in them, apparently they're worth a shit ton of money. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about cards. That's actually probably more of a question for our roommate. He knows a lot about like Pokemon cards and stuff, and
Bryce
probably
might know about
Magic
cards.
too. And Bryce
had a shitload of cards, and he gave me a shitload of like that he had of doubles the one time.
Like I've seen ones in my Young Buck ventures of looking for stuff on the eBay, and I've seen those ones with like the cloths in them, and people are selling for like hundreds of dollars, and I'm like, I can't justify that, but that's so fucking cool.
That is crazy.
Anything else interesting, fun happened to you these past couple of days aside from your shopping endeavors?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I bought an Iron Sheik shirt too.
You did get an Iron Sheik shirt, that's right.
Iron Sheik shirt. That was just a cool like.
Was that at the same place?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's where I got the Owen Hart shirt the one time.
Oh yeah, that's right. I always forget that sometimes.
That was like a cool like I was in there for probably 10-15 minutes. There was a kid in there with special needs, and he was I guess his mom was the one like in charge of the store that day. It's usually another guy or whatever, but like obviously just hanging out, and I walk in and I'm looking at all these wrestling figures, and I was wearing a CZW hoodie, and that's how the conversation started. He saw the word wrestling, and he was like, "You like wrestling?" And I was like, "Absolutely," and we started talking about wrestling, and he was asking me like my favorite wrestlers, and I said CM Punk, and he sighed, and his mom was like, well, how about Roman Reigns? I was like, I like Roman as well. He was a massive Roman Reigns fan.
Aww.
And so we talked for a good 10 minutes about Roman. He was telling me about when he was at the local arena and Roman was there and everyone was booing except him.
That's so
It was
fun.
great. Yeah, it was great.
That's so fun. I love that.
It was great. And he saw me pick up the Cody figure, and he was asking me, do you think he's going to win the Rumble and everything like that.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
We will get into that. Before we do, I want to talk a little bit about the information that I've learned from my days going forward since our last episode. Nothing super crazy, nothing super intense, fun, whatever has happened. Actually, more depressing things have happened. I learned that the Taco Bell that is near my work is closing / moving. Closing as in that location is no longer going to be, around, and moving as in they're going to be probably like 15-20 minutes away. Now they're just moving in a completely different area.
That's bullshit.
It's terrible. It is the worst news for me and like three other people.
We're not sponsored by Taco Bell.
Taco Bell should sponsor me. Okay, I have a Taco Bell tattoo.
Honestly,
I should be fucking sponsored.
That'd be a hell of a sponsor.
They should be giving me free Taco Bell for life.
They've been picking up their game on commercials, bro. Like
I'll be featured in a Taco Bell commercial.
They had a Green Day song featured in one and some hardcore band in one too.
They could feature me in a commercial pretending to tattoo the tattoo that's already on my body and then like do like the wipe reveal and go, Liv Moss. I already have it. You don't have to pay me for the commercial if you give me free Taco Bell for life. It is such a good goddamn deal.
Someone's going to clip that now, and Taco Bell's just going to get ideas. Watch.
If Taco Bell gets ideas and they don't cast me for it, I'm going to be so upset and offended. Almost as bad as when they got rid of the shredded chicken.
How many things have I booked in Backyard Wrestling that Tony Khan stole?
Yeah, okay. Okay. He's watching us. But no, so the Taco Bell's moving. And that was probably one of the worst things that could have ever happened to us. And I'm very sad because it's literally up the street and around the corner. And we're at the end of the street. Like it is 2 seconds away. And that same day I also, ate food that I normally eat and, just fucking threw it all back up. So that was great. I don't know what the hell was wrong with that. I don't think it was food poisoning because I would have been sick for like the rest of the day, but I wasn't. So I don't really know what happened there, but I had a really fucking bad Saturday. I had a terrible Saturday. It was awful. And that is probably the most exciting personal information that has happened to me since we've recorded last. And since you guys have heard from us last. I'm sure more exciting things will be happening underway as well. However, speaking of food, speaking of eating, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Actually, no, we're not going to get into the meat and potatoes.
We got one more thing to talk about. We have one more thing to talk about. As we were if you're hearing the previous part of this episode, we talk about the main subject, but we didn't talk about the news that broke after this because we were in the middle of recording when this happened. And it was literally after we got done recording, I went on Twitter and was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. About 5 seconds after we hit end. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We just finished. Like, we could have been talking about this in the previous part, but we're gonna talk about it here again. So, Lyssie, I'll let you take the reins on this as I mark down where we're stopping for trigger warnings and stuff. Yeah, so we'll put another trigger warning, content warning, whichever, up for this. We're not going to go into crazy detail at all. We went into crazy detail for about 20-30 minutes last time, so we said as much as really needed to be said, I feel like, at that point. Go back to the previous part. The previous part? I'm talking to the audience. Go back to the previous part for like the main meat and potatoes of this whole situation. Head on over to part 1 of this, and you'll understand our viewpoints and everything about it. But again, we're not going to go crazy back into it, but we will be discussing Vince McMahon and the given situation that had happened, and an update that we didn't get until we finished recording. So content warning, trigger warning if you do not want to listen to anything about Vince. Timestamp will be up on the screen as to when you can move to. With that being said, Vince McMahon's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He is resigned, fired. He's fired. Out. I don't really know. It's being said that he resigned. Yeah, probably. Now, I mean, I'm sure it was more of a, we really need you to resign. Get the fuck out of here. We will let it, if as long as you don't fight it, we will let you just resign and say your piece type of thing. Like, yo, sponsors, or we're gonna fire you. Sponsors are pulling out. Get the fuck out. Yeah, basically. Which props to them getting it done super fast with that. Yeah, because then Slim Jim came back. Yeah, for the Rumble. Props to WWE on that end of okay, get him out now. It was. The day later, get him the fuck out. It literally, or the day later, or I think a day later. Yeah, I think a day later. I talked about it a little bit on my TikTok. If any of you are over here from my TikTok, I didn't go into crazy detail about it. Especially with how easily accessible content is on TikTok. I didn't want to go crazy in depth about the things that he said and whatnot. Just because people are scrolling. I did put a content warning up there, but you never know, people might be intrigued and ignore it and still go into it, and it's a lot. It's very much easier to find a video or access a video unintentionally on TikTok than it is to be clicking on something intentionally on YouTube. Yeah. So I talked about a little bit about how he was fired, released, whatever. And yeah, just my main thing is good. Glad that's absolutely what should have happened. He should have never been voted back in my opinion. Yeah, no. He should have never had a spot back in, and they made the right move finally. I don't want to say 100% props to WWE because they should have made this move last year. Yeah, well, when this whole thing was going on. They shouldn't have put themselves back in the position. I'm just saying props to WWE on the aspect of they got it done. They got it done after these text messages were released, and they were like, okay. And maybe they didn't have, because from what they were saying on the press conference, which are we going to go into a little bit later at all? Yeah, we are. Yeah, the press conference. So I won't go too much into what they said exactly on the press conference. But they were saying that they knew as when we knew. As soon as we knew about this information is when they got the information. So maybe take that as you will. Take that as you will. But maybe they didn't have all the information and were just like, well, but I don't know. To me, if someone's going in and on an investigation that's active, I wouldn't want to be bringing them back in. Yeah. I think that was a really big mistake on their part. Especially with the sponsors dropping and all. Oh yeah, 100%. And another good thing that came out of this is there's been reports that they're going to be clean housing all the Vince guys.
So Laurinaitis is definitely gone.
Yeah, I think he was already gone.
Is he gone?
I think he was already gone.
See,
yeah.
I had somebody on my TikTok comment, I thought Laurinaitis was already gone, and for some reason, I don't know why, I don't know why, but I've been mixing up Laurinaitis and Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard he's definitely still there. Bruce Pritchard is still there. I don't know if there's any more Vince guys there. The Kevin Dunn's gone. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Bruce Pritchard is probably the only
one really
Vince. There could be others that I just can't think about right now or can't recall.
Because I don't remember which.
I think Laurinaitis was gone the first time around.
Okay, I think I couldn't remember hearing about him being gone, so in my brain I've just been like, he's been there. So I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
But if he is still there, he's not gonna be there for much longer. And I guess Pritchard's kind of up in the air because I don't know if he was mentioned in the court. I don't recall seeing his name mentioned in the court documents.
But did you see a certain tweet from Ronda Rousey?
Okay. I block Ronda Rousey out of my brain as a person. That. So anything that she says and does, I will not pay attention to. But give me some insight. What did Ronda do?
Yeah, so we'll get into Ronda in a second here. But it's not saying what year, but on June 21st, Johnny fucking Laryngitis, fuck him, was removed from his post and replaced by Bruce Pritchard.
Okay.
Laryngitis was officially let go by WWE on August 8th, ending his 21-year employment with the company. So 21. So it was No, it was last year.
So 2023.
I think Laryngitis got hired by WWE when WCW got bought out.
Maybe that's why I've been mixing them up, because Bruce Pritchard took his position.
Yeah.
And I'm just like.
But Bruce Pritchard has been there on and off forever. He's been a Vince right-hand guy, and that leads into, as I look up.
Well, again, all depends with Pritchard, as if he was covering this shit up and if he was involved. Obviously he's going to be gone, but I haven't heard much about him in this, really, so I don't have too much to say. But it's good to know, and I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Okay. So this is what Ronda Rousey put on Twitter yesterday at 12:51 p.m. Bruce Pritchard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince still has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through Bruce when he was quote-unquote gone before.
I actually saw something really similar to that, and maybe it was just someone who kind of copy and pasted Ronda's shit and changed a different couple words because fuck Ronda. But yeah, I saw that, and again, maybe this is where I kind of got things mixed up a little bit. I saw someone mentioning that when Vince was gone, he was still basically using Pritchard as a puppet to still get his way and whatnot.
Well, yeah, Bruce Pritchard is known to be one of the biggest yes men in the industry.
So, with that being said, it's more than likely he's probably going to be gone, because if he's one of the biggest yes men for Vince, he's probably easily helped cover this shit up. Allegedly, conspiracy theory. That's not proven fact. Don't come for me about that.
As Bruce would say on his podcast, the rumor and innuendo.
Rumor and innuendo?
That's what he says on his podcast, yeah.
I don't think that's what innuendo is.
That's what he says, though. The rumor and innuendo is that, like, when he's on his podcast, and example, I listen to his podcast when it's an interesting topic. Example, Montreal Screwjob. So sure. I listen to that episode. So the rumor and innuendo that was going on was Sean didn't want to do this and Brett didn't want to do this, but he was backstage, so he knows the truth.
I don't know if any of them know the truth.
Sorry if you hear a cat meowing.
Yeah, Dee Dee's losing his shit again. Dee! Come here, Dee. Man, our cats are making too many guest appearances on these episodes already.
I'm gonna have to interview them.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Good fucking riddance.
Yeah, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
And we don't want them back. So, yeah. Sorry, you pulled up the wrong one. There it is. Okay. You didn't scroll back down, and I was like, oh, sorry, I peed on my notes.
Oh, you peed on the notes.
I peed on my notes.
No.
But yeah, that's pretty much as I gotta say about this. If you wanted to set the end time.
Yeah, we'll set the end time here for that. But, man, just... I'm glad it's fucking over.
I'm glad it's done and over with, and hopefully nothing ever happens where for some reason these dumbasses bring him back again.
Yeah.
That's really it. Okay, so before we get too much into this, because we kind of skipped over one thing, we didn't exactly give everybody a summary of what we're going to really be talking about. We just kind of started talking about Taco Bell and figures.
Yeah,
and
we kind of just jumped right into it here.
So basically what you can expect going forward in the rest of this episode is we're going to be reviewing the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and what stuck out to us on Collision.
Yes.
So nothing overly crazy.
They were happening at the same time.
Happened at the same time. We had Dylan's phone pulled up.
Saturday Night Wars.
With the Collision episode on, and we had the Rumble on the TV.
Yes.
And yeah. So that's what you're going to be listening to and expecting to hear from us going forward. Aside from one note that Dylan wrote before we get into the Royal Rumble saying, and I quote, "I need to rant about Twitter trolls who never touched a ring," in parentheses. That's all I need to write down because I'll know what I'm going to say, end parentheses.
Yes.
So pop off, Queen.
I fucking hate these Twitter fucking trolls. Mm-hmm. That never fucking probably been to a goddamn wrestling show, never touched a wrestling ring, never fucking went to a wrestling school to get trained or anything. Fucking just type away on Twitter, "Oh, this motherfucker doesn't know how to work. This motherfucker looks gassed. Oh, the fucking Lexus King sucks at working. CM Punk looks gassed. The Rock looks gassed." Shut the fuck up.
Dylan, we have neighbors. Stop yelling.
Whatever. Shut up. No one likes you guys. You never touched a fucking ring. Go fucking touch a ring. Go to a pro wrestling school. Learn how to take a bump. Never fucking bumped a day in your fucking life. For the record, Lyssie can confirm this. I've been to pro wrestling school.
You have.
I know how the business works.
I've taken bumps in rings.
You have taken bumps in rings
Not professionally, but I have.
Yes. But just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to like the fucking wrestler. You don't have to like how they wrestle. You don't have to like how they work. But know what the fuck you're talking about, you dumb fucking idiots.
I will pop into one thing because we were talking a little bit about this earlier this morning. I was actually a little bit concerned that CM Punk did hurt himself in the Rumble, which again, we'll talk about the Rumble in a little bit. But I was a little bit concerned because like he went down and he stayed down for a while, and I was like, dude, is he actually hurt? Like, it's like, I know I saw him. Hold on. I was like, I saw him go over to the ref and everything, and he was staying down and whatnot. I was like, oh my god, he's actually fucking hurt. Like, this isn't good. And then he ended up getting up and doing the GTS and whatever, and him and Cody went for a while and whatnot and everything. So I was like, okay, he's fine. Yeah. Unless something comes out where he worked through an injury, whatever. But we haven't heard anything from it. If he did get actually, like, hurt, like, injured hurt, we would have heard about it by now. Maybe he landed on his elbow funky and, you know, he's just kind of got, like, a stinger or something. It was just like, oh, damn, ow.
It could have been a stinger, if anything.
But even so, the thing is, with him going down for that long and making people think that he's hurt and he's down and out for the count, that just means he's doing his job good.
He's like selling. It's called selling,
like
working.
Like, he got me with it. He got me, making me think, oh my god, Punk is hurt. Oh no, not again. Something's gonna happen again.
I didn't even notice.
There's gonna be a media scrum bullshit at fucking WrestleMania now.
I didn't even notice it. I was just like, he's fucking selling.
I didn't want to say anything because when we were watching it, because I didn't want to sound like an idiot and be like, dude, I think Punk's hurt. Oh my god, Punk's hurt. Do you see? Punk is hurt. Oh my god.
Well, that motherfucker, you got to take into account. You've been in them rings. These motherfuckers, half these motherfuckers on Twitter have never been in a fucking ring. Those rings hurt. You hit your bare elbow, no elbow pad. You hit your bare elbow on that. Fucking hurts.
Dude, the first time I ever took a bump, I'll say in quotations, in a ring. I'm stupid and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because this is, just fucking around backyard. So this isn't, again, professionally trained or anything like that. But, our one friend who also did go to pro wrestling school and whatnot and knows things about, like, how to do things properly, is telling me, okay, make sure, you tuck your chin, slap your hands out, yada, yada, yada. My fucking dumbass didn't fucking tuck my goddamn chin. I cracked my head on the fucking mat and I think I had a headache for the rest of the fucking day. I didn't concuss myself or anything crazy because I also didn't fall hard or fast or anything like that. I was trying to do it slow to get the movement.
You took such a gracious bump.
It was more of a coffin drop from what you and Bryce said.
Yeah,
I did more of a coffin drop.
The way you fell
was more of a coffin drop.
But you fell so like graciously with
Thank
it.
you.
Like
I take pride in that.
Like this ain't me dissing you.
As I crack my head.
This ain't me dissing you because like every person that bumps for the first time always just has that reaction of like, don't fall as hard because it's going to suck. So I'm gonna try to fall
softly.
But the trick is, the harder you go and the higher up your bump is, the less it hurts.
Well, nonetheless, I'm petrified, and I don't like heights. I don't like falling. I don't like the feeling of any of it. I'm not
talking about go on the top rope.
No, I know.
And I'm talking about when you're just taking a normal snap bump.
No, I know.
But
what I'm saying,
you have to lift yourself up a little bit.
What I'm saying is even standing and falling backwards.
Well, yeah.
I mean, nobody likes the feeling of falling. If you like the feeling of falling, you're a fucking psychopath. No, I'm like, I don't want to fucking deal with this gut feeling of like, I know I'm falling backwards and my stomach sinks and everything. So I'm trying to, just be a little princess and fall graciously and I cracked my goddamn fucking head. That shit hurt. Okay, those boards are hard. There's no padding. There's padding. It's like nothing. It's basically those mattress toppers that you could get, at least from the ring that we had.
It was a foam mat.
They were thin as fuck, dude. That did not help much.
It was a foam mat.
Did not help much at all. It just felt like I whacked my head on wood. Like, it felt like
it's on the wood's there.
That's what I'm saying. As in that padding did not provide a whole hell of a lot of a cushion. Is what I'm saying. Yes, it's there. I'm not actually hitting my head on hard wood. There's something else there to protect you. But it still hurts. It still sucks nonetheless.
It sucks. Bumping sucks.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun.
Bumping sucks.
So yeah, basically, Punk could have, whacked his elbow or arm the wrong way and just been like, ooh, ouchies, ouchies, that hurt. Not actually fully injured
He was shooting
himself.
on me. He saw what I did with my elbow and was like, I'm going to take a shot at this motherfucker.
Okay. But yeah, no, the thing is he just did his job well. And the fact that he made people online really now sit here and have this discourse of, fragile body, fragile mind, yada, yada. Punk is just like
Fuck
glass
you, Punk.
bones and everything. Like, he's doing his job right. It kind of goes back to what I say about the Young Bucks playing into the fans and playing into this and, be like, oh, I'm going to make you think this way. They're doing their job well. He does the same exact fucking thing. And he does his job well.
They just like watching people argue on Twitter.
Yeah, again, like, when Punk came back to AEW, and some people were booing him and some people were cheering him. It didn't matter. He was playing into the crowd. He was like, you want to boo me? I'll make you boo me. You want to cheer me? I'll make you cheer me.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Sure. Like, he does it really fucking well. Again, they both do it really well, which is why my theory is that's why they didn't get along, because they're too similar of peoples. But I digress on that topic because we got to get to a bunch of other stuff because we have a bunch of other stuff on the list, especially speaking the Royal Rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Pay-per-view, because I'm not saying premium live event.
The PLE.
I'm not saying the plea. You're a cop if you say plea.
So, plea.
I don't trust you. So we're gonna talk about the first big surprise that happened. That we were all hyped about and everyone cheered about and everyone ranted and raved about. Pat McAfee back on commentary.
Let's go!
Fucking love Pat McAfee, and honestly, I do hope that he does come back around for most of, if not all, the pay-per-views, because my god, I fucking miss him. I know he's making that football money, but like, I miss him.
Pat McAfee's great. I love Pat McAfee. I was hyped. Soon, I got hyped like Michael Cole.
Gotta be one of my favorite announcers, honestly. I know a lot of people don't like him.
I love him.
I don't even know if it's necessarily just a wrestling thing, like a wrestling commentary thing, or if people just don't like him from his podcast.
A lot of people don't like him because, I don't want to get into it, but he's friends with Aaron Rodgers. I
don't even know about the football side of it.
It's a cesspool.
If people don't like him because he's like too hyped up and too excited, like, get a fucking life.
Well, to be fair, when he first started, I liked him as a wrestler. His work in NXT and all that was great. I just didn't like him as an announcer at first. But about a month in, I started like coming around and liking it.
You came to your senses and became a smart person.
I was just like, this motherfucker's like just like at first I was like, it's too much.
No.
But then I got used to it. I
It's
think
never too much.
that's what I needed, was just to get used to it. I love Pat McAfee.
I think it's so important to have people excited about the thing that they're like in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like it. He brings energy. It's good.
You need to have that fun marking out commentator and whatnot. Like, I'll even say, I feel like out of all of them, an AEW Excalibur fits more into that role. And like,
well, that's his
kinda,
role to begin with.
Yeah, it just kind of makes you feel a little bit like more ready and excited. And people who don't like it, do you just watch wrestling like miserable in your room and not pop off?
My only complaint about Excalibur is, man, and I'm probably not even a complaint, but like, motherfucker's reading off he's an auctioneer.
Dude, he's so good
He's
at
an auctioneer when
so
there's like
fucking good at
900
it.
matches to be announced. And it's like, goddamn.
He's like, I got a job to do and I'm going to do it as quickly as fucking possible.
It's like, goddamn, let it breathe for a minute. Hold on.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah, very happy to see Pat McAfee come back out and commentate for the night. That was absolutely great. And then going into the Women's Rumble, which started off the pay-per-view.
The better Rumble, too.
We had a Rumble sandwich, as I'd like to call it. We had a Rumble on one end and a Rumble on the other end, and then some stuff in the middle. So a Rumble sandwich.
They had 3 multi-man matches and 1 singles match on this pay-per-view. I just realized that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I am a slut for multi-man matches. I love a multi-man match.
That's crazy.
So starting off, the surprise, of course, of Naomi returning, coming back from TNA.
Yes. That was great.
Which was really cool. And I had a little bit of
We're not gonna review the Royal Rumble verbatim.
Yeah.
Just key moments.
Key moments, things that got us excited, things that we enjoyed about it. I had a theory going into this, not really going into the Rumble, but as the Rumble progressed with a certain theme that was being talked about. Should I mention that now, or should I wait till a little bit towards the end?
Wait until we get to the end of...
Toward the end of it?
Before we talk about who won and all of that.
Okay. We'll rope back around to that then.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, I didn't see... Because we recently just got access to TNA. So I haven't really seen her too much in TNA and what she was doing. But
I kept up.
Nonetheless, she's a great wrestler. And I hope that she's treated properly now. I think with the switch of things going on in WWE, I have good faith that she will be treated well.
She had a good run in the Rumble, too.
Oh, yeah, she had a really fucking good run in the Rumble. So very happy to see her back, very happy to see her get her spotlight and see everybody excited to see her back nonetheless. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, because of the way that they did leave her and Mercedes / Sasha, it's one of those things where it was kind of like, I hope that the fans have like a good reception back for her, because it was,
going to be... Stone Cold walked out one time, and
that's true. It's
CM
just,
Punk.
They made it seem like such a, you betrayed the WWE fans, but that was a Vince thing.
That's how they fucking are, though.
And it was upsetting, and there were a lot of people online following suit with that same type of energy of just like, I don't want them back. They betrayed the WWE fans, the WWE universe.
That's these fucking Twitter trolls.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm hoping that this is good. Like, saw her coming back out, the crowd went wild, and I was like, all right, thank fucking God.
Hometown crowd, pretty much, for her too.
Yeah, that's true.
I think she's from like Orlando.
That's true.
Hometown crowd.
Along with Naomi returning, which was a very interesting thing that they decided to do, is Jordynne Grace just showed up.
Yeah, showed up.
The woman who beat Naomi for the TNA
Knockouts title.
Yeah, Knockouts title. Which was fucking crazy and wild.
I mean,
and
it's
insane.
not the first time they had someone from TNA Impact there.
It's not, but I'm kind of surprised that they did it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it was cooler this time around because it was TNA and not Impact.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, Mickie James was the groundbreaker of all that and everything, but it was just cool to hear Michael Cole mention TNA on WWE. Like, it's just cool. And she came out with the belt.
Yeah.
Had her theme.
They let her do all that shit.
She had a good run in the Rumble, too.
Insane. And she was eliminated by Bianca. Yeah, so someone of like a similar
Yeah, she took the TKO on the ring apron.
Oh, yeah.
So she was eliminated in a cool fashion.
She got like fucking like knocked the fuck out and to be eliminated.
The moments that she squared off with like certain people, like her meeting up with Naomi again was cool. The Bianca thing, I like
that they did the little hug, and then they're like, "Oh, it's good to see you," and then just started being pissed out of each other.
No, it was cool.
I think honestly the best entrant though in the Women's Rumble was R-Truth.
Yes.
Realistically
I
speaking.
thought he was going to win the whole fucking thing.
I really thought he was going to win this whole fucking thing.
It was funny.
And also leading up to R-Truth, let's just make a quick little mention here of what's her name? Valhalla?
Valhalla.
Oh,
yeah.
Michael Cole freaking out like the second her theme hits, and he goes, "Is she wearing the antlers? She hasn't been wearing the antlers for a week. Please tell me. Oh, she's wearing them. Oh my God, she's wearing yes." And he was just losing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And again, as someone who does not pay attention to anything that goes on like Raw or SmackDown or whatever, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? But I think I remember actually from a Botchamania episode, the most recent one.
He couldn't pronounce antlerless.
Antlerless or something.
I'm with Michael Cole
it's
here.
Not easy.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing to say, and I can't blame him on that. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess this has been kind of a running gag. And then R-Truth just took her fucking spotlight.
That was funny.
And, he's running in looking at her. He gets in the ring, he's looking around, and he throws up the... Hold on, time out. What's going on here? And it's just like,
funny.
I can't with them, dude. It was so fucking funny. And honestly,
comedy done right.
R-Truth is too funny for his own good.
Comedy
honestly.
Done right.
Like, he's way too fucking good. The thing that, like, legitimately I was the most excited about, and the thing that really brought a big pop to me and a big smile to my fucking face was Jade Cargill coming out.
I was happy to see her.
It
was great.
Fucking miss Jade so much, and of course we all been known as soon as she left AEW she was going to WWE. Like, this has not been a secret or a major surprise necessarily to say that she showed up at the Rumble, because we all knew she was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And when she was ready and everything.
She looked good.
She looked fantastic.
She looked great.
But I have missed her for so fucking long, and I've missed watching her for so long, because she's so good. She just has that vibe to her. She has that feel to her. Like, she is money. She is a fucking star.
Yeah.
And I've been saying to Dylan since it's been announced that she was at the Performance Center and whatnot. And it seemed like with the Rumble and how she was in the Rumble, I want her to be treated right. Like, if they...
She seemed like she belonged in there.
Yeah, if they... my whole thing was if they drop the ball with Jade, I don't know if I'd ever be able to actually forgive them for that, because, again, she is so fucking good and she has so much fucking potential. Like, she will be a staple in that women's fucking division. Guarantee it.
And she was in...
She was in the Final Four, right?
She was in the Final Four, right?
Yeah,
I was about to say, she was still out there when the match ended, so...
She eliminated Becky?
Man, I forget. I didn't write down, like, who eliminated who, because I wasn't going word verbatim, but...
Because I know Liv eliminated her.
But speaking of Liv, you can go right into that.
Yeah, Liv's back also.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm going to smoke some weed with Liv Morgan.
Let me just wrap back up a little bit with Jade, because I love talking about her. Nonetheless, with the people that she was in with the Rumble at the end, and, her squaring off with Bianca and everything, like, absolutely... spectacular, and that within itself of putting her with those big names in that fucking ring, to me, they know that she has that star power. They see that in her, and I'm so excited to see her get the push that she fucking deserves in this company, because she, like, lost twice in AEW, both to Chris.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what a fucking wonderful person to lose to, because Chris is a fucking amazing. So, she lost twice in AEW, really. She's just spectacular. So I hope she gets that same type of treatment, and it seems like she's going to. But with her eliminating Liv Morgan had to have entered the Rumble to begin with, and she did at number 30. She was number 30, and she returned, which is great. Again, I like Liv. I'm a little indifferent towards her. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I like her. I think she's fun. And I'm excited to see her back. What's your more so thoughts about Liv, aside from saying, she came back in Florida where she got arrested for weed?
I'm gonna smoke weed with her.
Smoke weed with her.
I didn't know she got down like that, but I'm a fan of her now. I mean, I was always kind of a fan of her. It's just the booking that would always kind of be like,
I think it was more so a booking thing, kind of hit and miss.
I enjoy Liv Morgan. I like Liv Morgan. She's good. I just want to smoke weed with her now.
She's good. She's talented. Again, for me, it's just been very hit and miss. I think it's just been the people that she's ended up in the ring with. You know what I mean? Or, again, just the stories she's been in. And, again, I'm excited to see what she's doing back now.
Things are good. Things can be better. That's what I mean.
And she got taken out by Rhea, right? I think.
Not in this Rumble.
No. I mean, from when she came, like, before when she got out and now she's back.
I think, yeah.
I think it was Rhea. Was she in a story with Rhea at the time? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I wonder if they're going to rope back to that, basically, is what it was.
I don't even remember what we talked about 10 minutes ago.
I don't know if that was the end of the story. I cannot recall. I'm so sorry. But if it wasn't, it'd be neat to see that rope back because, they were tag team champions together or whatever, or a tag team together. So it'd be interesting to see them rope it back again. But, we just gotta kind of see where that goes. But where we ended up with the end of the Royal Rumble was Bayley finally fucking winning.
Yes.
And getting to go to WrestleMania.
She pointed at the sign.
She got to point at the sign.
She
deserves it. She has again, we'll go back, we'll talk about the press conference in a little bit, but from basically what was being stated in the press conference about her, she deserved her moment, basically.
Yeah.
Like, she has worked her ass off, and I agree to that. She has absolutely been working her ass off. She has been such a fucking horsewoman, whichever.
Yeah.
She's been doing great, and she absolutely deserves this moment. She was the right winner. She was the winner that I was picking from the get.
Yeah.
If it wasn't her, maybe Becky, maybe Jade, but I was like, there's no one else I could realistically see winning this thing that's not Bayley.
And the move definitely is Bayley versus Io.
I think, yeah, 100%.
Because that can lead into two things here, which is the storytelling of Damage Control, which can lead into the theme that you noticed in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because I like the storytelling of Damage Control in this Rumble of Bayley was saving Asuka.
Yeah. So the theme that I had going into this, not really going into this, but again, as I noticed, was friendship. There was a lot of friendship being, like, shown in this Rumble. Multiple tag teams coming in, helping each other out. Again, like, Bayley trying to save Asuka over and over and over again and everything. And just my thing was, which, again, I had more faith that Mercedes is going to AEW. But my thing was, there's a lot of friends coming in here. How interesting would it be if Mercedes did come back in the Rumble, who was tag team champions with not only Bayley, but also Naomi? And, like, what if they ended up in the final three? You know what I mean? And then you have, like, so much history there and everything, if she did come back. So I was like, you know what? They're really pushing this friendship thing. What if she does end up actually returning? Which she didn't, of course. Again, I'm expecting to see her in AEW.
Yeah, that pretty much confirmed everything.
I'm expecting to see her show up at, like, Revolution or something.
Yeah, like, she's 100% going to AEW.
But that was a very interesting theme that they had going on this entire time, and I really liked it. But yeah, going into people that aren't friends, let's talk about Roman versus LA Knight versus AJ versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention to this match. I'm gonna be completely honest.
You were watching Collision.
I was watching Collision at this time because I don't want to sit through another Roman match. I'm tired of sitting through Roman matches. I'm over Roman. I hate him.
I was going back and forth at this time. I forget what was on Collision at this time, but I was going back and forth watching it, and from what I saw, a typical Fatal 4-Way match where it's just recycle guys in and out of the ring, do spots, and then Solo Sikoa coming out.
Which, big shock.
Helping Roman, and Roman getting the win, which Roman needed the win because of what we're going to get to later on, because it just makes goddamn sense.
There was no reason Roman wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, that. There was no, like, don't get me wrong. I love LA Knight.
They're not going to have the longest reigning champion in recent memory lose in a Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. All of the guys that he was up against, 100% main event talent. You know what I mean? Like,
at least it was something different where it was, Roman has to face 3 guys at once now.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
I saw someone on Twitter say something like, along the lines of, why does Solo always pull up in the hoodie? Like, dude, we know it's you. Like, we know it's you. Why do you always show up with the hoodie?
One day, wild ass prediction. But I've been saying this for fucking over a year now. One day, we're going to think it's Solo, and it's going to be Jacob Fatu.
That'd be cool.
That would be, I'd really pop hard, but it better, I swear to fucking God, if it happens at Mania with Cody, if it's the same fucking finish as last year, but this time it's Jacob Fatu, fuck this.
Dude, again, I didn't pay attention to this match because I didn't care. I don't care about anything that Roman's in. At this point, I'm just waiting for him to drop the title to Cody. or to whomever. But I'm over it. I'm done with it.
It's a match.
Too much.
The bell rang. They got their shit in, and they got out of the ring.
Too much, and I'm just over it.
Paul Heyman cut a hell of a promo on the pre-show. A hell of a promo.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm always happy to see Paul Heyman.
Punk was FaceTiming Larry on the pre-show. The
was.
pre-show was wild.
Again, Punk really did tell us pretty easily that AJ was not going to be debuting in the Rumble because he was FaceTiming Larry, and Larry can't figure out how to use a phone. He's old. He's an old man. Like, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a dog and doesn't understand how technology works, because I believe that dogs are very smart and they
Larry's
can figure out.
sitting there like Shawn Michaels on the computer.
Dude, there's 100% somebody out there has taught their dogs how to turn on FaceTime. Dogs are fucking smart. It has nothing to do with that. He's just an old man, you know? Have you ever seen, like, grandparents trying to use FaceTime? They don't know how that shit works.
Yes.
You know? Larry doesn't know how that works. So AJ had to have been there to help him. So clearly AJ was not showing
Remember when
up.
we moved into your grandmother's and she didn't know the difference between the Wi-Fi and the internet? And
yeah.
You had to explain to her, or your brother did or something.
My brother did.
She didn't know the difference between.
I couldn't, like.
That was great.
My brother has a much better way with words than I do.
Yeah.
So I was like, Vinny, can you please tell Grandma what the fuck the difference is between the Wi-Fi and the internet? And, you know, there's just, you see the steam coming from the wheels of my brother's brain trying to figure out the best way to word this that she'd understand.
It's the funniest shit ever. I loved it.
But, yeah, no, yeah, so Rowan and the three-way, four-way, whatever, it was a match. It happened. The bell started and then the bell ended and the match was done.
Yes.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Another match I didn't care about.
I was watching this one too. The only thing that's really worth talking is Kevin Owens made Logan Paul pay his dues. He beat the fuck out of him.
I liked the end.
Yeah, that's what I was
getting. Not just because it was over.
That's what I was getting to. Was the finish was actually really cool. The brass knuck spot, and finally, not a dumb official.
Yeah, an official finally using their goddamn common sense.
Like seeing it on his hand, like, oh, that was.
It was a smart way to end the match in a DQ with also Kevin Owens not getting pinned and not getting submitted. Because realistically speaking, right? Let's sit here.
I feel like there's more of a story there.
There is. But do you think that Logan Paul could really submit Kevin Owens?
No.
Realistically, no. No, absolutely fucking not. So yeah, it was honestly probably the smartest way to end the match, and I liked it a lot. It was creative, it was different. I did like seeing Logan Paul getting his ass handed to him.
A DQ finish done right.
Yeah, it was a DQ finish done right. But again, I didn't really care too much about the match. I love Kevin Owens, I really do, but I despise Logan Paul with a fucking passion. I don't give a shit how good he is in the ring. I'll give him the credit and say, yeah, he is good in the ring, but I don't care about that. Like, he's a piece of shit person. And I just hate him. I've always hated him. Ever since which I mean, this is the reason a lot of people don't like him. Ever since that fucking stunt in Japan, dude, I can't. I fucking hate him. And it
was wild.
Not even just the forest incident. Because obviously that was the big one.
Just everything.
He was so disrespectful there. And, you know, I was, you know, I've talked about it with some of my coworkers and whatnot who also watch wrestling. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, not necessarily saying it's okay to do it, but, well, what do you expect? Is this fucking influencer, you know, trying to do things for YouTube views? And to me, like, I get that. I 100% get where you're coming from. And, like, yeah, that's the whole reason he did it. But to me, I could never imagine going to a completely different country with a completely different culture and just being the absolute most obscene, rude, and offensive person that you possibly could be just for clout. Like, I don't get that. It was so disrespectful. It was so distasteful. And I don't know. I don't care really like this. Like, I don't care about anything he does. I don't care about how many amends he could possibly fucking make. To me, like, if you're that easily clouded for views and likes and clout and shit, if your brain is easily that manipulated into shit, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't like you. Like, that tells me a lot more about you than anything else that you could be doing. And I mean, that might be too harsh on me on my end to, like, you know, justify, like, oh, well, people can change. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care if he could change or not. That's That's too much for me. And he was 21, I think, at the time, 21, 22. When I was 21 or 22, I knew fucking better. So there's really no excuse there to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the age of people growing up on the internet. But he's older than me. You know?
Yeah.
He's also older than me.
How old is Logan Paul? Let's look that up.
Well, I think he was in 2017, and he was like 21, 22. I think he's like 28. 28 or 29, because I think this was like 7-ish years ago.
28.
28.
He's born on April Fool's Day. That makes
because he's the biggest fucking joke.
That makes so much sense.
He's the biggest fucking joke, dude. Like,
that makes so much
I hate
sense.
him. I hate him so much. But yeah, so I'm 25, so he's 3 years older than me, if my math is correct. Like 3-4 years older than me. So yeah, I don't get it. Like he's the same age as my brother. My brother doesn't do that shit. My brother would never have done that fucking shit. So, I don't know. Rich kid mentality, probably. But yeah. Yeah. So anyway, enough of me bitching about Logan Paul. Let's get into something that was actually pretty fun and made me smile a little bit. The Men's Royal Rumble. And Jimmy and Jay starting it off together, which... Go off, Dylan. Go off.
I texted you.
You texted me.
I texted you and was like, Jimmy and Jay are going to start off the Rumble. Remember this tweet?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, probably, maybe, yeah, that's sensical. That's something that...
I was like, that would be the best start to this. And sure enough, they started it.
It was cool.
I was happy.
It was cool. And then, what's that fucking asshole's name? Grayson Waller?
Grayson Waller
came out as third. And, he's walking down the ramp with the microphone being like, yada yada, brotherly feud, yada yada, I'm Grayson Waller.
I'm Australian.
Wait, say Usos? Is that how you pronounced it?
I don't know.
Is that how you pronounced it? I was just like, I'm like, my God. Like, I feel like he's accentuating it so much and I love it. But, yeah, no, it was funny because, he's walking down, talking his shit and whatnot, and then he just gets fucking, like, super kicked or something off the fucking ring apron. He wasn't eliminated because he didn't enter the ring yet, but, like, I know you said a little bit later on in the match, you're like, I hate when people go after somebody before they actually get in the ring. But that's the good way to do it. That's different.
That's fine if, like, was it Jay that super kicked him?
I don't remember.
Anyway,
it might have been.
if you're an annoying heel running your mouth and like you're in the ring trying to win and this annoying heel is talking your ear off, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just hate when someone gets up on the ring apron, the ring is full, and like there's a person that just can't, like, let them get in the ring so you can eliminate them.
Yeah.
Let them officially enter.
Yeah.
Like bro, because like it just makes you look dumb in kayfabe because you always see those spots of someone's back's turned. Oh fuck, surprise elimination.
Yeah. But no, that was funny. That was it done right and everything. And you know what else was done right? And hopefully is going to be continued to be done right because I'm very passionate about it and I'm very emotional about this. Is Andrade's return.
Andrade is back.
Andrade is fucking back.
The Colliders were alive in the Rumble.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. The only critique I have of Andrade's return back is that he was in the ring with Cody. And they didn't go through a flaming table.
They didn't go through a flaming table?
So, really, I'm just going to give this Rumble 0 out of 0, or 0 out of 5 stars. Terrible, awful,
Okay,
the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But no, seriously, I am so fucking happy, again, to see him, because I love him, and he is impeccable. And, again, hopefully will be treated right, because he wasn't treated right in WWE.
The first time.
He kind of wasn't treated right in AEW either.
No.
And I'm so sick and tired of seeing these absolutely fucking phenomenal talents.
He was used good in NXT
by Triple H. So we have faith here. But I'm so sick and fucking tired of these fan-fucking-tastic talents not getting the fucking spotlight that they deserve. Because you put on any fucking Andrade match, that dude is busting his fucking ass every single time in the ring. He is putting on a stellar fucking performance. And he's just like a mid-card guy. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, do you see the shit he could do?
I want to see Andrade versus Santos Escobar, though, because...
That's fair.
That face-off in the Rumble was really cool.
That's very fair. I want to see Andrade with heavy hitters.
Him versus Gunther.
Him versus Gunther is something that I need
That
to
would be
fucking
wild.
see. They're gonna destroy each other, and I'm so ready for it. And under Triple H, I have faith that he will be booked right, treated right, and again, shown to the world as the star that he fucking is. Because he fucking deserves it. And if he gets fucked over again, you'll never hear the end of it. You'll never hear the end of it. I'm going to lose my goddamn fucking mind if this guy gets fucking treated poorly again. Because he doesn't fucking deserve that shit. But you know who also deserved being in the Rumble and deserves to be plastered all over the WWE universe? Braun Breaker.
I popped hard.
And
you
his
can confirm
fucking
that.
run. You lost your mind.
As soon as I heard that siren, I was like, yes,
What
let's
was
go.
it too? They were saying like, oh, he was clocked in at being able to hit the ropes at 23 miles per hour.
Motherfucker hits those
literally
ropes
ran. Like
there's no tomorrow.
Like insane. And I'm not like I don't watch NXT a lot. On occasion, some of the like pay-per-view match, big shows, whatever.
I love Braun.
So I'm not overly familiar with Braun, but he fucking. I said to Dylan, and you remember this part of the podcast. If I'm incorrect, don't remember this part of the podcast. That's your new Intercontinental Champion right there. That is your new Intercontinental Champion right fucking there.
I read something on the Twitter. I wish I saved it.
On the Twitter.
The reward it. So I'll try to like word this the best I possibly could. So they gave Braun Brock's spots in the Rumble.
Yeah.
They gave Pat McAfee, which we'll get into, Brock's entrant.
Yeah.
And they gave Braun all of Brock's spots. Like the people that Braun eliminated, Brock was supposed to eliminate it. And supposedly Brock was supposed to eliminate Gunther. I think, I could be wrong. I'm just trying to again remember. I think Brock was supposed to eliminate Gunther, and I think Braun was supposed to eliminate Brock. So I could be wrong in that order.
Well, that doesn't sound correct, because if Braun eliminated Brock, well, Braun would have been in the Rumble, I guess, actually.
Well, I think what I'm trying to get at was the original plan was going to be Brock versus Gunther at Mania. Because Omos was in there, too.
Yeah.
And everything. And there was supposed to be a face-off between Brock and Omos from WrestleMania last year. There was supposed to be a face-off again. I could be wrong in that order, but regardless, what Braun Breaker did was what Brock Lesnar was supposed to do.
I actually saw someone similarly talking about the same thing on Twitter a little bit ago, and they said that Brock was supposed to be eliminated by Dominic.
That's funny.
And I don't know.
I hope that's true. That's
obviously,
funny.
like, I don't know if that's true or not.
I hope it is.
Here's the thing,
That'd be the funniest shit.
Because a lot of people were commenting on it being like, I can't see Brock being eliminated by Dom. That'd be
the funniest
shit. That is stupid. That
even eliminated The Undertaker in 2002.
Well, what I'm saying is Dom is this shit-stained fucking heel. You know what I mean? So, like, it would kind of make sense for him to get a cheap shot on Brock and eliminate him. And, you know, that be, like, his thing. Because you could see Dominic running with that. Like, coming out on Raw the next day being like, oh, well, I eliminated Brock fucking Lesnar. Well, you can't say fucking, it's TVPG. But like, I eliminated Brock Lesnar. I beat my dad up. Like, I'm Dirty Dom, bitch. I'm Dirty Dan.
Mommy would be loving him.
Mommy would be loving it. Like, I could totally see them actually doing something like that and running with it. I don't think that's necessarily something that would have been like improper or something that's so far-fetched. But, I mean, it does make a little bit more sense of, like, if it was Braun eliminating Brock.
I just think it would be funny.
But it would be hilarious. I think that would be so fucking funny. But what else was so fucking funny and hilarious that had me rolling around the fucking bed laughing was Pat McAfee's entrance.
I enjoyed it.
So Pat McAfee was in the Rumble, if you could say that. And it was the funniest fucking shit because he's at the commentary booth still. It's not like he made like down the ramp. He was still at the commentary booth.
He's calling the match.
His music hits. Kind of like how they did it the one year where they had all the fucking announcers in the Rumble. A little bit of a throwback, which is always fun, and I'm always like, a sucker for. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll get in there. And who was it? It was Omos and...
It was two big motherfuckers.
It was Omos and...
It was two big motherfuckers.
It wasn't Braun, was it?
Oh, I forget.
It was Omos and somebody.
It was two big motherfuckers.
It was two big guys.
Gunther, I think.
Was it Gunther?
It was two big motherfuckers.
I know Omos was there because that was like the big key point of that Omos was in there. And Pat like walks up, up the steps and everything, and he's standing at the ropes and he's looking, and he kind of gets in, and he's like, no, and then he gets out of the ring. And he's like, oh, well, maybe. And then gets in. And like, nah, no, I got snakeskin boots on. I'm not ready. I don't have my gear, you know? Like, I'm just gonna go back. He just jumps down and eliminates himself. And it was like what? Like, not, it wasn't even 90 seconds. Like, but it was so fucking funny.
It was like in and out. I understand why people are mad. You could have had someone fill that spot, but sometimes you just need some sports entertainment.
Here's the thing, right? I'm always a big person on saying comedy belongs in wrestling, because if you don't have
comedy done right, again, in my opinion,
if you don't have like different things in wrestling, and it's all just strictly wrestling, and it's all just like strictly serious bullshit, people are going to get bored. And, it sounds stupid to say it shouldn't be strictly wrestling and wrestling. Of course, that should be your main focal point. But if you don't have a little bit of comic relief in there, like, it's going to get really boring really fast. You need a little bit of comedy in there.
If you have 30 motherfuckers coming down that ramp and this match is going on for over an hour, I better get at least one funny spot.
Yeah, like, come on. We need something funny and something to kind of laugh about. Something that, maybe wasn't laughable, or, I don't know. I was trying to do a good transition into this one, but I don't really know of a best way to do it. So Punk then came in. Punk showed up. Everyone was excited. CM Punk's here. It's his first match televised on a pay-per-view, and he's here in the WWE ring 10 years to the day after he was last in WWE was it in a Rumble, I think, or something? Yeah, it was in a Rumble. Woohoo! Pepsi guy's here. Soda Man, yay!
He hit the pedigree on Cody. That's the closest you're getting to a Pepsi plunge in WWE.
So yeah, Punk showed up, and you might want to talk more about Punk than I do. So
he entered at number 27.
Number 27.
A classic number to enter and win, but he didn't. But I knew it was either going to be Punk or Cody. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think anyone knew that.
Everyone did.
I like I didn't wait for 10 years to be beaten by Dusty's kid, or to lose to Dusty's kid, and he loses to Dusty's kid. I enjoyed it. He was doing his thing. I mean, there's really not much to say. He did it's a Rumble match.
He got injured. His elbow.
You get in the Rumble and you hit your greatest hits.
I think it was kind of funny because who the fuck was it? Drew was in the Rumble, and Drew was just fucking beating the piss out of Punk.
Oh yeah, Drew was beating the fuck out of him.
And it was so funny because he kept chopping Punk, and Punk kept like falling or dropping or bumping or whatever. And Drew just kept picking him back up and was like, no. And he kept doing it. And then he put him in the corner and he's like, I'm just stay the fuck up. And Punk kept falling. And I was like, dude, I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna stab you. Like, just let me fucking hit you. God damn. Like, Drew was going fucking in on him. Fucking going in on him.
It was cool to see Punk mix it up with all the guys that he used to or hasn't yet.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Another cool thing to see Punk in the ring with, person to see Punk in the ring with, was Sami fucking Zayn.
It was cool.
Sami Zayn came back.
He's back at number 30.
Let me tell you the relief I fucking had when that buzzer hit. And I don't think I've ever been happier in my life to hear ska music. I don't think I've ever been that happy to hear ska music playing, because I was so fully convinced that fucking Hulk Hogan was going to come out at 30.
I was waiting for it. I was like,
if I heard
this place is about to go.
I'm a real American. I was probably about to get up, get in my car, and drive away. I was going to go to my dad's house for the night.
If it happened, I would have popped, but also started laughing, because why the fuck we doing that?
I would have simply left. I would have simply left.
I would have been like, yeah, Hulk Hogan, and then quickly turned it into a joke of why the fuck we doing this? We don't need this.
That would have probably been the worst thing they could have ever done. But one of the best things that they could have ever done was bring Sami Zayn back.
Yes.
Which, I mean, people were speculating. He did show up at a house show in Montreal, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a given of like, he's gonna be back. Like he's good. He's gonna be back. So I'm really happy that he was
eliminated by Drew? I think.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be the story moving forward.
I feel
like that's gonna be his story moving forward right now, is Drew.
I think so. Maybe. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look that up.
I don't really remember.
I'm gonna look it up.
But nonetheless, whomever it was, the last two were Cody and Punk, which I'm sure you could assume from our conversation. And they went for a while. They went for about like 10 minutes afterwards. Had a fun little match of them just really giving it all to each other.
Yeah.
So that was super. No. Punk eliminated Drew. Because Drew.
I'm talking about Sammy. Sammy was eliminated by Drew.
Sammy was eliminated by Drew.
Punk was eliminated by Drew.
And yeah, they gave it their all and whatnot. And like Dylan said, Punk was like, I didn't wait 10 years to be eliminated by Dusty's kid. And then Dusty's kid eliminated Punk. And then Cody, for the first time in I think 26 years, was the back-to-back Royal Rumble
and
winner.
by the power of editing,
in there with Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold,
is fixed, and we are back.
Hogan. So we're talking about which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
At the end of WrestleMania,
people were saying that the ending was gonna hit like crack.
To WrestleMania.
Apparently,
I don't remember.
No,
what
that's
we're
a lie.
talking
It
about.
did hit like crack.
No, the hit like crack ending to me was after
So sorry
Cody
about that. I just
eliminated
got a
CM
phone call
Punk.
on my phone.
He got up to that turnbuckle.
Do you mind
did
texting Cody on
two
Messenger
sweets,
really
one
quick
for
and tell
Nick,
him
one
that
for
we were
Matt, and then a
recording?
finger gun for Kenny, and then pointed
and
off
if it's
right
an
at that
emergency
fucking
to
sign.
And
Let
then
us
looked at
know
Roman
what is
and
going
said,
on.
I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Oh,
For
must
you.
be an emergency.
That fucking
Okay, hold on.
For Life, Bullet Club for Life, the Elite for Life bullshit. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know he did it last year, and it's nice to see him still do it again this year to, pay homage to his friends. So,
Yeah.
that makes me happy all the time. Anyone paying homage to anybody will make me happy, but, I got a soft spot. But yeah, of course, excited that Cody won the Rumble. It was either going to be Cody or Punk, either way. So I'm not really surprised that they were the final two. I'm not really surprised that Cody won. I really want to know what this hit like crack ending was supposed to actually be.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, it was a fine pay-per-view. I wouldn't say it was my favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-view because, again, the two matches that were sandwiched between this Rumble sandwich, I didn't give two goddamn solitary fucks about.
Yeah.
So I saw apparently boring was trending on Twitter.
Yeah,
I guess a lot of people kind of felt the same way. I mean, I don't know. I think I did like the women's Rumble a little bit more than the men's, though.
The women's was better.
The women's was better, and it was fun. And again, I felt like there was more of that friendship story kind of going into it, and whatnot. But I don't really know what type of theme they were running with the men's. It was just men hitting men and men fighting and men beating each other up. But it was fine. Again, wasn't the best Rumble I've ever seen. Wasn't the worst Rumble I've ever seen. So, sure. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now let's move on to the press conference a little bit. You fell asleep during it.
I did. I was so fucking tired after.
I was awake watching it last night, and
I skimmed through the important parts this
Yeah.
morning. I got to the important meat and potato parts of it.
So I'll start off with saying Bayley was the first person to come out and talk, and it was just great hearing from her. She seems like such a lovely person, like such a lovely fucking person, and it just seemed like she couldn't stop smiling. She was so excited and so happy. So there wasn't a whole hell of a lot that they discussed that I really wanted to touch on with Bayley. Just basically being like, oh, what does it feel like, and moving forward and everything. And she was telling stories about talking to the girls in the back and just trying to keep telling them keep pushing through. How Dusty Rhodes saw things in her that she was never able to see, and how Dusty Rhodes was really good for that, for everyone, just seeing things in people that they didn't know existed.
Yeah, star, baby.
And she said if it wasn't for Dusty that she probably would have given up in her first month. So that's always sweet and great to hear.
Thank you, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, thank you, Dusty Rhodes, for everything you've done and the stars that you've made and the people that you've helped.
You're the pizza man. Yes, you are.
Moving on, we got into Cody, who kind of started the press conference a little hot and heavy, if I do say so myself. He walked out there and said, before we're getting into questions, I want to lay down the law. I want to clear the air of some internet memes I've been seeing, which I don't know if I was just so fucking tired. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. Was he talking about the finish the story shit?
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was like, what are we going off about, buddy? I mean, sure, yeah, pop off, queen. I love it.
Also,
but what?
Him getting hot at certain journalists.
Yeah.
About, Cody left AEW because he had a falling out with the Elite, and he fucking literally shut that down fast, too.
He's like, no, I didn't.
Like, y'all are fucking idiots. There's a difference between, we're gonna get into that, there's a difference between journalist and journalist in quotation marks.
Yeah.
And you know who you are, you fucking piece of shit.
There's a lot of, saw a lot of, like, kind of discourse about this online of people wondering, which we kind of talked a little bit earlier, as to why people, or why that one journalist, whom I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of, asked Cody about the Vince McMahon situation.
So,
which again, we're not going to get crazy into detail about this. We already discussed it earlier.
The way he worded it, because I watched it this morning, the way he worded it was, I'm asking, this isn't quote verbatim, but to summarize it all up, he was asking Cody because Vince brought him back. It was a Vince choice. So I think he wanted to the journalist was just doing, like, that journalist there was doing the right thing by asking pretty much the guy in WWE, like, hey, what the fuck you think about this fucked up shit?
Yeah, I mean, and I could also see him asking because he was an EVP of another company.
Yeah, that was also another thing of, like, how would you have handled this or whatever. Like that.
To me, I feel like the question wasn't really necessary for Cody. I get it of just being like, how would you have done things? And, you know, how do you feel about this, that, and the other thing? But he's not in that role anymore, you know? I mean, sure, it would have been great to hear Cody's advice and whatnot. And I mean, he did go a little bit into it, just like, I don't know what the right way to go about something like this would be, or, you know, you never really know until these things kind of happen.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
You gotta look in, like, in my opinion, you gotta look into it.
But, like, I feel like Cody's not in that position anymore. And I get it of Vince being the guy to bring him back and everything. But it's really not his question to answer anymore. If he was still an EVP in a company, absolutely, sure, yeah, I could see that easily being a question for him, because he's more so held accountable at that point for things. He's not held accountable for any of this stuff. And sure, I'm sure we would love to know all of the wrestlers' opinions on this. But at that point, why didn't we ask Bayley, who's a woman in this company? You know what I mean? Why are we just asking Cody? Like, I'm sure we all want to know. We're all nosy. We all want to know what everybody's thinking and what they're saying at the same time. But sometimes it's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And the shitty people who think that, you know, Vince was wronged will weed themselves out, and we'll figure that out as time comes on. But right now, I think to me it's a little inappropriate to ask a wrestler again who does not have any sort of power to do anything about it.
Yes.
Again, if it was an AEW situation, sure. If he was still executive vice president, sure. But he's not. And I don't know. I just think it was kind of a waste of time and a waste of question, personally. But
no, it's not a waste of a question, but I get where you're coming from. But I feel like that journalist was probably just like, this might be my only chance to do it.
Which, that's possible, because that did happen with the Jericho situation in AEW when Julia Hart was sitting there, I believe.
Yeah.
And that journalist basically said, like, I felt bad asking when Julia was there, but I did not think I was going to get another chance.
Yeah.
Which,
so you gotta, that's the thing with these fucking press scrums. I went off about them this morning to you. I fucking hate them. I think they're fucking stupid. It's fucking pointless. Like, are you working or are you shooting in these fucking press scrums? That, like, you're killing the fucking business, but then you have Bayley working of like, oh, like, Dusty Rhodes believes in me and shit, but then you get these certain questions and everything. Again, I understand, but why even do the fucking press scrums? That goes for WWE and that goes for AEW, so don't try to twist words, trolls.
You need to calm down.
I'm just saying.
You need to calm down.
Saying.
You're way too heated about these damn trolls, man. Way too heated about them.
Well, you know how it fucking is. People are gonna find this and fucking clip shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'll let them clip it. You know what? I mean, I don't really care.
Dumb fucks.
I'll get into a fight. That's fine. You know, I'll prove my innocence with the remainder of the clip that they decided to discard. You know, easy enough to debunk them. If people want to come and start problems, it's very easy to debunk these people. Like, it ain't nothing off my fucking back.
I just hate the press scrums because that's how things get started.
It is how things get started, but I don't know. Again, I think personally, it just wasn't the time, and not really the time and the place. It wasn't the person to be asking. I mean, maybe they thought that, which we'll get into in just a second here.
He had a good answer to it, though.
He did have a good answer, and maybe they knew the answer that Triple H was going to give. But also, to me, it's just like, this is like the biggest topic right now, unfortunately. It's like the biggest topic of things that are going on, and I feel like, I don't know if it's just, I don't know how these journalists' brains work, but to me, it's just like,
even if you don't get to ask the question, I guarantee you somebody else in there is. And 3 other people did. 3 other people asked it.
That's the thing with these journalists. These journalists are all out for themselves. They want to have... It's a dick measuring contest. They want to have the say of, I asked him first.
Which is stupid. Like, you're going to get the answer nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it if, like, you thought this was going to be your only time to ask it, but you asked it to the wrong person, the person that has realistically nothing to do with it right now. So, I don't know. To me, it was a waste of time. It was a waste of question, and it got answered anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Speaking of it getting answered anyway, we're going to roll into Triple H on the press conference now.
Oh, boy.
And about how he addressed the situation, because there really wasn't a whole hell of a lot more, I feel like, Triple H said, to talk about, aside from just, giving props to the talent and everything, which is, of course, always fantastic to hear.
$5 billion of Netflix.
Yeah, and the fucking Netflix shit.
At least he wasn't wearing a furry hat and sunglasses.
The thing is, I don't care that he wasn't. Like, to me, they gave the same fucking answer, and sure, did Tony Khan look a little stupider while he was giving the answer? Yeah, he looked like a fucking doofus. I'm not gonna discredit that and say he didn't. But they gave the same exact fucking answer, which I'm not gonna expect anything otherwise. I was saying earlier to Dylan, that, this isn't me necessarily trying to make an excuse. It's more of me trying to possibly give an explanation. Maybe because this is an ongoing investigation, I don't think anything's really... We have the information as to what was said in the court documents and whatnot, but I don't think there's been, like, a case closed yet. So I don't know if there are specific people in the company and higher-ups who are not allowed to say anything about it. I know a lot of times when lawsuits do happen...
All those NDAs.
Well, I don't even know 100% if an NDA, I mean, maybe is the type of thing that we're really looking at here. But a lot of the time in legal situations, you can't say anything, and it's not necessarily because, like, sometimes it might be because, like, hey, no, you legitimately cannot talk about this until this is done, but it's also one of those things where it's like, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Yeah, and that's the thing people on social media don't fucking understand. They think all these Twitter, everyone on Twitter is a lawyer.
Yeah. And
like, no, the fuck you're not.
This goes for both Triple H and Tony Khan saying it, with things that are being under investigation, it might just be a legal thing of where it's like, advised for you not to say anything because this situation has not been closed yet, and things can still change and can still happen.
These motherfuckers are running $1 billion promotions. Well, not Triple H exactly, but still.
It's one of those things where it's like, sure, there's a possibility that he can't say anything or shouldn't be saying anything about it, is choosing not to. However, there could also be a case of where he's trying to, just, I don't want to say protect Vince or protect anything. But I don't know. It just, I know it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth of saying, I just want to look at the positives. I just want to focus on the positives and not the negatives. And I don't think that's the best wording that he should have used for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think he should have just said, essentially, like, I can't comment on this matter at this time.
Honestly, yeah, if he gave the same response as Tony Khan did, whatever.
Well, he did though. Like, Tony Khan was just like, he avoided the question and said, everything's great, we had a great pay-per-view and made a lot of money. And Triple H said the same thing. Everything's great, we had a great pay-per-view and made a lot of money, and made a deal with Netflix. We are doing so well and everything is great. They both gave the exact same answer when I feel like both of them realistically should have just fucking said, instead of trying to push the company and push how good the revenue is and how great this is and how great that is, we cannot discuss this matter at this time. I have nothing to say on this matter at this time. I'm choosing not to speak on it. Like, it is something that's just that does not basically make you seem like, oh, I'm sweeping this under the rug.
Yeah.
Or this is, I don't want to talk about it right now. We have so many other good things going on.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it seem like it's not important. You know what I mean? And that, I think that's like the biggest thing, is a lot of people feel like that all these situations are not being made as they're important situations to be talking about. And I don't know, I didn't like his response. A lot of people didn't like his response. And I just wish, instead of, it feels almost like a panic mode. To me, it doesn't feel like you're trying to keep face of the company or or, you know, whatever, it feels like you're panicking. And you're just like, yeah, there's this bad thing going on, but like, look at all the money we have.
Look at all
like, this is
money.
so cool. Like, they talk too much. They overtalk.
You talk too much.
And they don't need to be saying that much. They don't.
Yeah.
And just get the point. Like, get to the point. That's really all of it is. However, I will say maybe a tiny little bit in there, to kind of contradict actually what I was just stating is maybe he brought it up to say, to try and come across in the manner of, we just made a $5 billion Netflix deal. We just sold out the stadium. We just had an amazing pay-per-view. We're going to be fine without Vince. With Vince not being here, we're fine.
They were going to be fine without Vince regardless.
Yeah, and maybe that's what he was trying to get at. But it didn't come across that way, if that was what he was trying to get at.
Shout out to the journalist that asked.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up, like, asked and didn't fucking walk around it or anything.
Yeah.
You guys are the real journalists. You guys keep doing what you're doing and fuck all those other fake journalists that are honestly pieces of shit.
All right, getting away from this because you're getting way too heated about this for my liking. Collision. Because that's Saturday, what we're doing is we have a collision with these journalists now.
Saturday is all right for fighting.
It sure is, and boy howdy did we have some fighting. However, there is not a whole hell of a lot on this list really to talk about, unfortunately.
We were watching Collision and the Rumble at the same exact
Yeah, there was a lot of matches on Collision, and not a whole hell of a lot of them really stuck out to me. One that I'm going to touch on super quick that you didn't write down here, which I don't think you were watching it too much, so I'm just going to state kind of one little thing about it, was Mariah May's so fucking good. Like,
I browsed down a few times just to kind of like just see how she's doing and everything.
Because it was Mariah May and Lady Frost, right? Really good match. Really fucking good match.
I browsed down. I think what was I forget what was going on at that time, but I just remember looking down and was like, yeah, Mariah May is doing the wrestling.
She's so good. She is insane. There was a spot in this match that I wish they replayed, and I haven't even seen it online, so this is going to be a terrible way of explaining it, and I'm so fucking sorry.
Oh, boy.
But they did this spot where, like, they were both, like, holding on to each other, but they were, like, kind of cartwheeling as they were holding each other, like, in the ring, and then they, like, turned it into, like, a fucking...
Were they locked up? Like...
No, like, like, from what I was watching and looking down, it looked like they were cartwheeling. Like, cartwheeling. It was, I wish I could fucking find the video for it. I'm sure it's on Collision, obviously, but, like, I didn't see a clip of it going around, nothing. They didn't replay it, and I was like, this was really fucking cool. They did that, and they turned it into some sort of move, and I remember I was like, that was fucking cool. That was really fucking cool. And, I don't know, it's just great women's wrestling all around, really, last night on Collision, which you love to fucking see. You love to see the women featured, and you love to see them as powerhouses. Another thing that was featured on Collision that was pretty cool and pretty interesting was CMLL.
CMLL, yeah.
I
think they're gonna be more active on Rampage this coming week.
I think it sits on like CMLL comes to Rampage.
But it's just cool to see the CMLL guys. That's pretty much.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that
cool.
that could bring a lot of people into watching Rampage too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of people.
Some luchadors.
I would say a lot of people say Rampage is the lucha show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I what better way than to partner with CMLL? So that's gonna be really interesting. Hopefully we actually fucking watch Rampage for once, Dylan.
We probably will if most of the CM, like, I want them to book a big multi-man match with all of them that are coming over, because my god.
Yeah, I want to fucking see it.
It'd be wild.
I want to fucking see it. Bryan Danielson versus Yuji Nagata?
Yuji Nagata.
Nagata. Sorry, I thought that was an O. Nagata.
Yes.
So, I'm not too familiar with Nagata.
He's a Japanese wrestler.
I know that.
Very old school.
I know that. So I'm not very familiar with him going into this match. Of course, I'm very familiar with Bryan Danielson. And let me just say, just fucking technical masterpiece.
It was really good. Absolutely. They beat the piss out of each other. Pretty much everything what you would expect from a Bryan Danielson versus Yuji Nagata match.
Yeah, and I mean, I really just feel like you put Bryan Danielson in with any old school Japanese wrestling, you're going to have a fucking fan-fucking-tastic
If you put Bryan Danielson in the ring with anyone.
Well, yes, of course, but, like, you know, just hard-hitting, technical bullshit, And
Bryan Danielson just gets to book himself through these fucking matches.
The only reason Bryan Danielson is on creative control of Collision is because he just wants to wrestle certain people. And he's like, I am putting myself in this match because I want it.
Bryan Danielson's there eating whatever his vegan meal of the day is.
Yeah.
And is like, it'd be fucking wild, Tony, if I just wrestle Yuji Nagata on Collision in Iowa, wherever the fuck they were at.
He doesn't need to go after any sort of belts. He's like, I just want to wrestle these people, and that is all I really give a shit about. So let me wrestle these people.
Bro, they should just put the international belt on Bryan Danielson and let him travel the world.
It would be really fucking cool if the international belt left the goddamn States.
Yes.
Like, cause...
And Orange Cassidy's waist.
Well...
backpack, whatever the fuck.
Whatever. Because Pac was the, international champion.
Well, he was the All-Atlantic.
It doesn't matter.
Get it right.
He had the same belt. And he was traveling around, defending the belt and whatnot. And I would just think that for an international championship belt, that's what you should be fucking doing.
Yes.
And I just want someone to travel with it and take it around and defend it at different companies and shit.
Bryan Danielson
very much well could. And I mean,
hell, even John had it. Moxley had it.
Yeah, but he had it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but like, I had a feeling maybe if that never happened or anything, maybe he would have been going around the world.
Because he travels a lot. So, I mean, I could see it. But yeah, no, fan-fucking-tastic match. Love a good, hard-hitting, old-schooly type of match, technically type of match. Very, very fun. Now, going into technical shit, and just insanity technical shit, my girl Serena Deeb.
She's back.
My girl Serena Deeb is back, baby. And
She's
oh
back.
my god, is she back with a fucking vengeance.
She's back.
Jesus fucking Christ, was that match so good.
It was good.
So
She's back.
fucking good. Here's the thing too. I was saying to Dylan, I was excited to see one of the Renegade twins in there with her. Cause
the Renegades are pretty good.
They're really good. I was saying to Dylan, I was like, I like them a lot as a tag team. I like when they're featured and whatnot. So, I was excited to see one of them in the ring with her. And dude, it wasn't a long match. It was maybe 5 minutes. Really, it wasn't anything crazy.
A deep return match, and let the Renegade twins just get some reps in.
Wasn't anything crazy, like of lengthwise. But the second that fucking bell rang, they went into it, and it's so good to see her back. And she afterwards, the match, she had a promo saying, I was wondering how and when I'm going to be coming back, like the past 15 months. I think I remember hearing her talk about, it was either online or an interview or promo or something, that the reason she was gone, she was dealing with some sort of like seizures or whichever.
Yeah, it's like she was keeping everyone in the dark for a little bit. Yeah,
she had a lot of really bad things going on. And, she was just basically, it was a waiting game of like, when can I come back? How am I going to come back? And she finally did. And she has not missed a fucking step since she's been gone.
Look good.
Said she was coming back, and she's coming back to elevate the women's division, put the wrestling back in All Elite Wrestling, and she's coming for the fucking championship. So,
good.
Strap her the fuck up. Because I feel like we were cheated out of Deeb in the TBS belt. And she deserves a goddamn fucking title. Like,
she's great.
She is one of the best women's wrestlers that they have on their roster.
She's great.
One of the best, and she is back now, and there's no reason that she shouldn't be at the fucking top. No goddamn fucking reason.
I'm sure they might have to ease her into things.
I mean, I understand that. Her health...
From having seizures and all that.
Her health comes first.
I have to ease her into things.
And maybe that was one of the reasons as to why, like, before she went away, things were the way that they were. But as long as she's healthy, and she is okay, strap her the fuck up.
Yes.
As I am tired of waiting for it. It's been her moment. It was supposed to be her moment. She didn't get it. Give it to her right the fuck now. And things that I also want AEW to give to us more is cage matches. Just like the one that we got last night.
AEW books the cage match right because they're not all the fucking time. Like, when's the last cage match that we had in AEW? Was it Mox and Omega?
Kenny and
Kenny that was months ago. Don't do it all the time.
No, I want it more.
No, it kills the aspect.
I want it more.
I enjoyed this cage match though.
It was a very good cage match. I like the concept that they didn't escape the cage as well.
I remember being like, I remember telling you, I was like, I don't hate it. I was just interesting to be like, how is this gonna work? Because, like, why would you do a 6-man escape the cage match? Because the whole logic of it was to have your opponent, or you need to escape and have your whole team escape to win. But watching the match, they pretty much did it the right way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if anyone's going to do that type of match, I have faith in FTR and House of Black.
Yeah.
And Danny, of course.
Yeah. Featuring Mark Briscoe.
Featuring Mark Briscoe to know how to fucking work that and make it work.
Yeah. We should start with the backstage segment that they did the swerve thing.
So, okay, Dylan's volume on his phone is terrible.
Oh, it sucks.
So we really couldn't hear what the hell they were saying in their promos.
Well, no, go back to when Daniel Garcia wrap this all up.
That's what I'm getting to. So we were a little bit not really confused, but we were wrong. So Danny got attacked, and he's bleeding and whatever, and they're like, shit, Danny got attacked.
Oh no.
We got to take him to the doctor. So he didn't go into a wee-woo machine, but they took him to the doctor that was there.
Uncle Dax took care of him.
They took him on the foot wee-woo to the doctors that are there. And then later on there's a backstage promo with FTR, looking concerned. Cash had his hand on his stomach, which that's how you know someone's concerned, because their tummy starts hurting. So he's got his hand on his stomach, being like, I'm so upset, my gut is just wrenched. But yeah, so they're upset, they're freaking out.
We're also bad lip readers.
We had no idea what the fuck was going on. But you could tell because of the hand on the stomach, they were upset. And
Dak's hands going.
Dak's hands, he was going. He had the dad talk going on.
He was worried.
And then Mark comes over. Now, what we thought was happening was we thought that Mark was like, hey, I'll come for you guys. I'll come in. And Dax was like, nah, dude, don't come for us. It's okay. Don't, it's okay. We are totally okay with you not coming out here with us. And, Dylan, get out of my fucking microphone. Shut the fuck up. So we thought Dax was like, no, homie, we love you. We don't want you to put yourself through this. We totally understand. You are Gucci on this. But we appreciate you and we love you. Apparently, we were wrong, and apparently what was happening was Mark Briscoe was like, hey, can I take Danny's place? And Dax was like, that's the best idea I've ever heard in my life. And
sure, I guess.
Yeah, and so I guess we went the opposite direction with it. But basically,
I thought originally what was going to happen was, oh no, Danny got attacked. I wasn't even expecting Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, Danny got attacked, and it's going to be 3-on-2 the whole time, and Daniel Garcia is going to come out and have this big babyface fucking wild ass shit coming out.
And this was not like AEW, again, to really, really preference and push this was not AEW not making it clear. This was us quite literally not being able to hear it because Dylan's microphone, or his speaker is fucking terrible.
We're too lazy to go back and fucking rewatch it.
Yeah, well, we tried to pull it back up this morning.
Oh yeah, I wanted to refresh. I just wanted to refresh my memory on Bryan Danielson and Nagata, but it wasn't on Hulu, so I was like, okay. Yeah,
so his speaker's terrible, so we could not hear what the fuck they were saying. There were, which we'll get a little bit. We'll get back into the cage matches in a second. There was a Hangman promo, which Hangman seemingly picked RVD for Swerve's opponent, which is super fun.
Yeah.
But because of the Hangman promo and because I love Hangman, I was like, I'm listening to this. I have to put this up to my ear. I did the same thing with Deeb's promo also. I took the phone and I had it up to my ear. And I could just make it out.
Everything that Deeb is saying, Lyssie's cutting this promo on me.
I was not even cutting a promo. I was just like, okay, she's wondering how she can come back and when. Uh-huh. All right, yeah, she's here to be the face of the women's division, okay? And put the wrestling back in AEW, okay? Like, that's all I was doing.
Put the W back in
AEW. But yeah, no, so when Hangman's promo came on, I had to put it up to my ear and I could still just make out what he was saying. And I set the phone down and I was like, RVD versus Swerve. And Dylan's like, really? And I was like, well, he didn't explicitly say it, but he said you have to watch the whole effing show to find out. And so yeah, that was cool. But yeah, so basically, again, speakers sucked. We're stupid, and we mixed it up. So we were a little bit shooketh when FTR came out and Mark Briscoe also came out, and we're like, oh shit, okay, I guess he is gonna be there. But then what happens to Mark Briscoe? House of Black come out.
They killed my boy.
They just fucking destroyed him. Yeah. They were just like, we're going to kick this shit out of you, and we're gonna throw you into this table all the way over here, and you are out of this shit now. And then, they're brawling outside the ring and whatnot, hitting each other, getting an excuse to bring weapons in or whatever.
That's what I said. I was like, this is the excuse to get the weapons in the cage. You gotta start on the outside.
And then who comes running down the ramp? Danny with the fucking tape around his goddamn head.
He was going wild.
And I think a chair.
He was going wild.
And he's going fucking wild. And then, they're brawling. They eventually get Danny and Dax into the cage and close the door. But wait, there's a third person in this match. It's Cash,
Wheeler.
My Tummy Hurts Wheeler. And Wee's not in the ring. Oh no, the door is closed. What's he gonna do? Well, Cash is insane. Even though he had an upset tummy earlier, he was saying, fuck it, I might as well just do something that might actually get the shit to be scared out of me.
Might as well just jump.
He climbs up the cage and he does a big crossbody across everyone and gets into the goddamn match.
He took 2 big bumps off
the
the cage.
2 huge fucking bumps. This dude's insane.
Into the cage and outside the cage.
And out of the cage. So, they're going. I think the first 2 people to get out were Dax and Buddy.
No, it was Dax and Brody.
Brody.
Dax was already escaping and Brody fucking flew through the door. Me and my coworkers tried to go for a cigarette break without me. He went, wow, I never seen a big motherfucker like that fly before. Holy shit.
And I think my favorite part is, Dax is, trying to carefully close the door.
And
he's not slamming it shut. He's just like, let me make sure that this latches. And then fucking Brody's just like, bitch, I'm a missile.
Fuck the door.
I'm coming out.
Fuck this door.
He fucking... I don't even know if I saw him jump. I think he just flew into frame.
Brody King was like, I do this at hardcore shows all the time.
He's like a fucking bullet bill, dude. He was just coming flying down the fucking Mario Kart ramp out of fucking 8th place. He was going. So they were the first ones out. And then Buddy and
Cash.
And then Buddy and Cash.
They both got Cash took a big bump off the cage, which
I was hoping.
You thought he died almost.
Okay, so it actually kind of startled me a little bit because I was hoping they had these tables set outside the ring during their brawl and whatnot, and I was like, oh my god, someone's going to jump from the top of this cage off onto or push somebody off of this cage or something through this fucking table. That's what's gonna happen. I guess technically pushing your opponent off the cage wouldn't have been smart because it's an elimination thing, whoever can escape the first. So maybe that wouldn't have been the smartest idea, but...
Well, in this case, it did make sense, though, because Cash got pushed off by Buddy.
Yeah.
They were both dangling from the cage. Cash takes that nasty-ass bump, and then Buddy was going to climb back into the cage with Malachi to make it 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Because at that point, Dax is already out, Brody is out, and Cash. So it's 2-on-1. So Buddy was going to climb back in, but Daniel Garcia threw Malachi into the cage to knock off Buddy off the cage. So in that case, it does make sense. And
when Cash got eliminated or taken out or whatever, it did startle me a little bit because I knew someone was going through these tables. Obviously, they're set up for a fucking reason. But the way he fell,
that was wild.
He just dropped like a fly. It was actually a little I was a little scared. I was like, oh my god, I don't know if that was was that supposed to happen like that? Because that was concerning. And maybe it really wasn't actually that big of a deal. Rewatching it back, I'm just okay, yeah, that's sensical and whatnot. But I don't know why. When it happened, it hit me, and I was like, oh god, is he actually okay? That did not. That was something. But yeah, then Buddy got flown off the cage and whatnot. And then it was just 2. It was Malachi and Danny. And, Danny's down and Malachi's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going home. And starts to go walk out the door. And Danny's like, bitch, the fuck you are. Get back in here. I'm not done with you. I want to beat the shit out of you. And Malachi's like, all right, dude, you asked for this, I guess. And yada, yada. And then they start going back and forth. And then it got to a race as to who's going to exit first.
Best way to finish it.
Danny's climbing the cage and Malachi's crawling over to the door, and it's like, shit, who's gonna get there first? Who's gonna get there first? Malachi is like right at the door. He's about to get out, and then the door slams shut on his face. Lo and behold, Mark Briscoe is back, and he's okay from the table bump that he just got chucked into earlier in this match, which, you know, he had enough time to lay and relax and recoup. That's totally fine. So yeah, Mark Briscoe slammed the door on Malachi's face. He got knocked out, and then Danny gets out, and then FTR, Garcia are the winners of the match. And what a fucking way to end the goddamn show.
The baby faces go over.
The baby faces go over.
We're up in the air in Iowa.
And something we completely glossed over, which I'm so sorry we did. Julia Hart.
She made an appearance.
She climbed up the cage and she spit the mist in Danny's face.
She did the mist.
So we're going to see if Danny turns corrupt or if he has enough willpower to be a professional wrestler and get through it. Which I wish they kind of explained it. Not really explained it, but kept it a little bit more obvious to people that the way that the mist works is all depending on the person's willpower.
Yeah.
If you don't have strong enough willpower, you'll succumb to it and, you know, end up in the House of Black. But if you have enough willpower, you'll fight through it and make it out.
Just like Willow Nightingale.
Just like Willow did and like Sky didn't. So I think...
Well, she's not in the House of Black. She's just cool with Julia Hart.
That's like the woman's House of Black. She's basically...
She's just like, hey...
She's a part of it.
I'm fucked up too, like you.
But basically, yeah, so Julia made an appearance and spit the mist in Danny's face, which is cool. Again, I always love seeing Julia. She's fan-fucking-tastic. But yeah, so that was Collision. That was the cage match, and that was the last thing we really had to talk about today. Anything else that you kind of wanted to add, speaking on in this episode, Dylan?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. This was part 2 of the episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to just review the Rumble and Collision. We talked about the previous things on the previous part of this, and same thing as always. We're on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram. We'll put the link in the bio. We'll do that. We'll try to remember to do that.
Hopefully we remember to do that. If we don't remember to do that, however, our Instagram handle is Talkin_Wrasslin_pod. So TALKIN_WRASSLIN_POD.
Not the band POD.
Not the band POD.
Here comes the boom, ready or not.
Just a very, very, very short word for podcast.
What does POD stand? Like, what is their name? We're turning this into a music one.
Jesus Christ. Well, while Dylan's doing that, if you are interested in following me on any of my social media platforms, my Twitter handle is Lungtar. That is LUNG__TAR. Same username for my Instagram. Again, Lungtar, LUNG__TAR. Instagram, I post, selfies of my face, and I also post some of my artwork that I like to draw on occasion. Like the one that you're looking at right now as you're listening to this podcast. I drew that. I am an artist. I hope you appreciate it and like it, and if you don't, please don't tell me because I'm very bad with criticism. And if you want to follow me on my Twitter, I complain a lot. I talk about wrestling a lot. Probably will have a mental breakdown at least 2 or 3 times a week, and that's totally fine. Sometimes we all just need to vent and bitch about things. If you want to see my face while I'm talking, which a lot of people don't, which is totally fine. I wouldn't want to look at me while I'm talking either because I say a lot of fucking stupid bullshit and I must have a stupid face. But if you want to see my stupid face along with my stupid bullshit, feel free to follow me on my TikTok, which is LUNG, LUNG__Bucks, BUCKS. It is a play on the Young Bucks because I'm a fucking mark and I'm stupid. But Dylan, where can people find you?
Well, POD stands for Payable on Death. That's what their band stands for. It's really funny. They're a Christian band, too.
That's something.
Anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Danny_line_Vallo_line DANI, like Danny Filth of Cradle of Filth, and Vallo, VALO. You can try to make an attempt to find me on Twitter. It's a cesspool over there. I don't like Twitter. I hate people on Twitter. I'm trying to use my Instagram more. I barely use TikTok. So, yeah, Instagram's the way to go on that.
And if you like this podcast, and if you like us, and enjoyed listening to us, please consider giving us a like, giving us a subscribe, giving us a follow to our social media platforms, And share the video out. Share it with your best friend, with your brother, with your sister, with your neighbor who just for some reason only listens to audiobooks and you think it's kind of weird. Maybe they'll enjoy it because they're just listening to people talk, and that's kind of what they do on the daily anyway. Send us to your grandparents. I don't know. Maybe they'd enjoy us too. Maybe they'd feel like, have some kids in the house, even though we're really not that young in the kid terminology. But it's nice to have company, and I feel like sometimes we give some good company. Yeah, share out the video. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe if you want to, I guess. Maybe. We'd appreciate it. That'd be really cool if you could. Any closing words, Dylan?
No, I'll be back in the host seat, though, for the next episode.
You will.
So that means I get to pick Wrestler of the Week for episode 3. Also, don't be afraid to hit the little bell on YouTube for notifications so you know when shit like this drops.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is a thing.
We try to do it every Tuesdays. This one's going to be coming out on a different day after part 1, a couple days afterwards. So, yeah, just, keep in the loop. Also, that's why just follow us on social media, because we'll try to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, especially with when situations like this occur where there's a pay-per-view and another episode of wrestling on that we have to discuss and watch and talk about. Probably going to end up doing stuff in 2 parts.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah. It'll be a 2-part. Usually it'll be a 2-part episode if we're doing, if there's, a pay-per-view.
Yeah, so keep up to date with us, follow us, all that fun stuff, and thank you guys for watching as always. We really appreciate it, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. All right, well, that's mature. That's mature.